Welcome to our discussion of Tisha B'av, positive mourning. When we think of the period of Tisha B'av, period from Shiva Asar Tammuz, the fast of Tammuz, where we commemorate the destruction of the walls of Jerusalem, going for those 3 weeks, the Bein HaMitzarim, the period between the two difficult periods, until Tisha B'av, the 9th of Av, when we commemorate the destruction of the temple, and culminating with the horrific fast, the saddest day of the year, Tisha B'av. The last thing we would call it is anything but positive. And yet, I'd like to suggest, in this very mourning period that we have, and in the morning of Tisha B'av, there's something positive about it. And let's call it positive mourning. How is it possible for there to be something positive within the mourning of the destruction of the temple on Tisha B'av, of the holy Beit HaMikdash, the holy temple in Jerusalem? If we turn to the Megillat Eicha, the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, Kila Hashem et chamato, God has brought an end to his anger. Shafach haron apo, he has poured out all his terrible wrath. Vayatzet esh b'tzion, he cast a fire in Zion. Vatochal yisodoteha, he ate to the very foundations of Jerusalem. Midrash Rabbi says as follows: Ketiv mizmor la'asaf, Elokim bao goyim nachatecha. Oh, a song to Asaph. People in the days of the great singers of Israel, they sang a song because the Gentiles had come into our inheritance. They said, God has destroyed the holy temple and the sanctuary, and you're sitting and singing? That's what you do when the temple is destroyed. Amar lehem, mizamar anochi shishava chamaso al eitzim v'avonim. You know why I'm singing? Because God poured out his wrath. Yes, but it was on the wood and on the stones. V'lo al Yisrael, but not on the Jewish people. Adahu dichtiv, v'yasher es b'tzion, v'tochal yisedoteha. God cast a fire in Zion, and he ate to its very foundation. The Torah Tamima explains, he says, oh, wait a second. Why should you be happy about it? Just because God destroyed the temple, and he didn't destroy the Jews, all right, that's good. But it's nothing to be happy about. Something perhaps to be relieved about. And he says, no. Because ein lo chema. He poured out, he finished all his anger and wrath is done, it's gone. There's something positive about the morning of Tisha B'av, because through the destruction of the temple, God's wrath is over. And that is a good thing, it's even a joyous thing, it's a happy thing. We have a similar verse later on in Perek Dalet, chapter 4 of Eicha Lamentations, that we read on Tisha B'av night. Tam avonech bat Tzion, lo tosif, lo yosif lahagotech. Your sin is done. It's complete. Daughter of Zion, God will not continue to send you into exile. Again, the Midrash says, Tovai tam Megillat Kinot l'Yisrael. The Megillah of Kinot, the very act of the destruction of the temple, was better for the Jews. Me'arbayim shana shidnabeh aleim Yirmiyah. Better than the 40 years in which Jeremiah, the author of the Lamentations, prophesied to the Jewish people and told them, repent, repent. Lama? With the destruction of the temple, the Jewish people achieved complete and utter forgiveness, even a waiving of the sins, for their sins b'yom shacharav Beit HaMikdash. On that very day, when the temple was destroyed, sad as it was, that's the day when complete waiving of all the sins took place. Hadahu dichtiv, that's what it says in this pasuk. Tam avonech bat Tzion, your sin is over, it's done with, it's complete. So there is a positive aspect in this very, very sad period of the year. The Tosfot makes it a little more graphic. Tosfot here in Kiddushin, Daf Lamed Beis and Beis 32b, Staya Milta. He says, if not for the fact that God had poured out his wrath on the Jewish people, Yimalei Kain, if not for that, Lo nishtayer misonei Yisrael sarid upalit, there would not have been a remnant for the people of Israel. Nothing at all. The Tosfot in Kiddushin. And Tivot Shalom, great Rabbi of Slonim, passed away not too long ago. He says that this period of the Bein HaMitzarim, this period where we focus on the destruction of the walls of Jerusalem, Shiva Asar Tammuz, the fast of Tammuz, the very temple, the centerpiece of Jerusalem on Tisha B'av. This period, yes, it's a period of sorrow, difficulty, difficult straits, Bein HaMitzarim, the straits. And yet, it's also Yemei Hishtokekut. It's a period of longing. Mishtokekim Yisrael mitzapim lishua. It's a period where we remember that the temple is destroyed. But that destruction, that very mourning, even the tears, they lead us to desire and long for a reuniting of the Jewish people with Jerusalem, with the Holy Temple. This is what Netzivot Shalom adds. He says that when we cry, it's a bechiyah shel hishtokekut. It's a crying of a desire, a longing. And he says that bechiyah, those tears which we should have on Tisha B'av. I remember in my old shul, in the white shul in Far Rockaway, there was a Mr. Davis, Olav Hashem. He would cry, literally he would fall apart on Tisha B'av. That's what's supposed to happen. And that bechiyah, that crying, which hopefully we can appreciate, we can experience, Zeh mamshich et binyan Beit HaMikdash. That actually helps bring the building of the temple in Jerusalem. It is that very mourning which brings something so positive, the very rectification of the problem itself, the rebuilding of the temple itself.